Miska, Muska, Micky Mouse.
Yeah, I can definitely tell that after this chapter, it's going to spark some controversy, and honestly, I've already seen a little bit of it on Twitter. What I'm going to say before reviewing this chapter, even if you understand something, that doesn't mean you have to like it. People are entitled to their own opinions. I think that there's going to be some people that don't really have a problem with what happened with Bonney towards the end of the chapter, and there's going to be some people that do dislike it. I think that you should respect each other's opinions and know that nobody's going to always agree with everything that Oda writes. And I think that's fine, right? It wouldn't make us human if we didn't. But what's good, everybody? It's your boy Potential Unleashed. I am back with another video. This is One Piece chapter 1118. It is titled Being Free. I thought it was a really decent chapter. It's definitely showcasing how we are moving towards the end of Egghead, and we're about to go into Elbaf, which I'm really excited to see. But if you guys enjoyed regular reviews like these, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. My name is Potential Unleashed, and let's get into chapter 1118's review. The chapter, it starts off with the ancient robot getting sent flying into the different marine ships, and it's going into the sea after Warkery knocked this block off in the last chapter. And we see that the broadcast that Vegapunk he was having, it concludes with him saying, and there was, and then it's left off. And then we see the ancient robot talking about Joy Boy. I speculate that Vegapunk, based off of what he was trying to say in the last chapter about the people with the letter D in their name, that amongst them that there is a Joy Boy, probably talk about Luffy. And the second option I'd say that he was talking about would probably be Blackbeard, in reference to maybe resembling Zebek, something along those lines, but I really think he was talking about Luffy. But the ancient robot is essentially, you know, talking about how Joy Boy, you were here, I wanted to meet you, where did you go, I wanted to talk to you, because we know that each time the ancient robot was able to move, it was after hearing the drums of liberation, and he was talking about Luffy wanting to reunite with him. The rest of the world, and we see Alabasta, we also see Dressrosa and other countries talking about why the broadcast stopped, about how Vegapunk, he is such a genius. How could somebody try to kill them, especially the world government? People, even after hearing all this, are doubting the world government to a certain degree, that hey, even though, you know, Vegapunk's a genius, they wouldn't end up killing him, so it could only mean the Straw Hats. And I don't necessarily get this, specifically the people of Alabasta that are talking about this, because, well, they experienced the Straw Hat. I guess technically they didn't necessarily know that Crocodile was defeated by the Straw Hats, because the world, they made it seem as if Smoker and Taishiki did it. So I guess they get a little bit of an excuse there. But it's just interesting seeing how much people are going to bash the Straw Hats when they didn't actually do anything. And I love this interaction from Leo and Rebecca, because we know that the Tontatas, they are just so gullible. And he's like, oh, so I guess Luffy did do it. And Rebecca's looking at him like, did you really just say that? I just love that interaction. It is confirmed that there are a total of 3 Stellas that are still attached to the Punk records, not including York. The other 2 is Lilith and Atlas, where Warkery and the other elders are going to make it a top priority in order to eliminate them, to tie up all the loose ends, because as long as York is attached, then the Punk records will continue being a thing and still continue to receive information. So Atlas and Lilith, they are not needed. The different crew members, they finally made it. I love seeing Luffy when he got onto the ship. He ended up turning into a giant, or at least was a bigger version of himself, resembling that, hey, I'm on the giant ship, so I should probably be a giant as well. I also love Bonney. She is the size of a giant as well. She turned Bluegrass and Doll into little children, and I love Bluegrass and Doll's reaction to this, because they're like, oh, I can't believe we let this happen. They said some really especially Doll. She said some not nice words to Bonney. I thought that interaction was great. Love seeing Sanji here. They also talked to Nami about, hey, are they ready to set sail? And they're like, hey, we are too. Everybody's ready to get up out of here. We didn't see anything with Zoro and Nostro in this chapter. Maybe they're saving it for the next chapter. We know that they had a little bit of a clash in the last one, and they ended up both getting sent flying in opposite directions. Personally, I would like to see a little bit more, but if Oda does not include them fighting any more in this arc, I could understand why. Slight interjection from me after recording my original review. You actually do see a panel, like it's really small, but when Nami was talking to Sanji, you see Zoro and Nostro in the background, him fighting against him in his hybrid form. Luffy, he went into the kitchen. He's eating a bunch of food because the last thing that he had was the Harkle, and it wasn't enough to allow him to fight as freely as he wanted. He still needed more food, so he's eating to recharge. And Mars, they are here, and they are attacking the giant, shooting what appears to be some form of maybe a laser, maybe fire, because the giants talk about how hot it was. They're trying to protect the ship, and then Bonney and Atlas, they are trying to get Vegapunk and Kuma inside so they don't suffer from the flames as well. The ships are being affected by the tides because of the repercussion of what happened with the mother flame, and the giants, they make mention about how they have to get rid of the elders, specifically this one, because if it can fly, well, it would chase them all across the world and it would be a trouble. And Luffy, he then powers up into his Gear 5th form, where Bonney mentions, wow, Nika, I get to see you. And I just love how Luffy's like, I don't know what you're talking about, I'm me, but you should be able to do this too, in reference to Bonney being able to turn into Sun God Nika, because we know how her powers work in regards to her distorted future. We've seen her previously wanting a Nika-ish future, and she ended up transforming into, or at least showcasing, like a Gear 5th Luffy when she wanted that rubber punch based off of what she was known that he could use or have rubber-like properties. And so in this chapter, Bonney, she ends up transforming into Gear 5th Luffy, and so that means that they have two Nikas that can do whatever they want. We already know that one Nika is a problem, so having the second one, that's pretty troublesome as well. This is where in my intro I talked about there's a little bit of a discourse. So many people are against this in the chapter, talking about how it's, you know, a Mickey Mouse chapter, it's a Disney-like chapter. This is all for interpretation. You don't necessarily have to like it, and even if you do, you don't have to love it. Personally, it is what it is. I'm at the point where I try not to necessarily get upset at things that I already know is going to exist. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of it. I know that Bonney, her devil fruit, it's broken. I don't think it's as broken as people are making it out to be, because there are some limitations, and Bonney definitely can't fight in this form as long as people think she's going to be able to. But this kind of reminds me a little bit of what we saw in the Dragon Ball series, with how there was such a important transformation like the Super Saiyan 1, and you know how different anger and rage is the cause of it. We saw Goku do it, we saw future Trunks. I think those two have the best transformations, well, the Super Saiyan transformation in the series. I think Vegeta and Gohan's, their reasons, it's okay. It's not as good as Goku and Trunks, but I thought they were still valid. And then when you get down to, you know, Goten and Kid Trunks, and then even in Dragon Ball Super, their way of transforming, or being able to transform into such a legendary transformation with ease, it's kind of not really that interesting to me. I didn't necessarily like it. It's a little bit similar to this transformation. I get why Bonney has the ability to do it, and I don't think that it's an ass pull or anything like that. But personally, like, you know, we know that Sun God Nika and that Joy Boy, how much people look up to him, how important he is in the story, and the fact that Bonney can use the powers like in an instant like that after Luffy needs to get knocked out by Kaido in order to do so. Personally, I'm just not the biggest fan of it. But that's pretty much the chapter. I mean, we also see the rest of the Gorosei, them trying to head in that direction. The giant robot is still technically conscious underwater. Nothing more to really talk about it. I know that we do have No break next week, so I'm pretty excited about that. Get to see Luffy and Bonney try to go against NIKA'S, and maybe Zoro does something as well. Hopefully Sanji, he can do something too. I don't think he's done much in this arc. He's done a couple little things, but I think he could do more with how strong he is. But let me know how you guys feel about this chapter in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. It's on the screen and in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.